QB to take first snap for Browns in regular season week number 1. You got Kenny Pickett plus 120. Shedeur Sanders is at a plus 225. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. Let's not be the angry fans that's going to cause the organization to turn on Shedeur and retaliate against him. Some folks have decided to protest, do a jersey protest where they're going to purchase Shedeur's jersey only on Shedeur's website. Others are going to purchase the Browns jerseys and they're just going to support regularly. What are you going to do? What's going on, folks? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I do appreciate it. I go by the name of Harry B. The B means two things. It means business and it means billion. So what's next with Shedeur Sanders and the fans? Listen, man, all of our grievances are out there. The content creators like myself, other content creators, even the national television analysts, we've all talked about this thing. The national television is still talking about it. We're all still kind of like trying to figure out what's really going on. The smoke is about to settle. So I have to ask you the biggest question. What is next? I want to talk about all of that and more. And also who's going to start at quarterback. What are the betting odds for each quarterback that the Browns have? Nobody understands why they got so many quarterbacks. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about this. What's next? What now? All right, the draft is over. We're no longer talking about, oh my gosh, he went 144th. Okay. And let me put up this graphic right here. Let me just ask you all a question. I know this is an AI generated graphic, but tell me, would you rock this jersey right here? I think I will rock it because I feel like this is a commemoration of, hey man, you made a mistake. You drafted him at 144th, right? In the 5th round of the 2025 NFL draft. And we know that Shedeur is one of the elite quarterbacks and he's been groomed to be that way. He's already proven it at different universities, at Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi, and at Boulder, Colorado. He proved it. All right. Whether you think that he never had a competition or however you think about that, right? He didn't really have to compete for it because his dad was the coach, the head coach at Jackson State, so he didn't have to compete. His dad was also the coach at Colorado. He didn't have to compete. However you think about that, Shedeur showed up and he did his job. And he did it very well. And there's a lot of people that believe that he was and still is an elite quarterback. So much so that he was projected to be number 1 overall initially, right? Until Cam Ward did what he did at Miami. So we understand that dynamic. But I don't think anybody is mad or upset about Cam Ward going number 1. We all knew that Shedeur should have been at least overall round number 1. So his talent is still there. This whole controversy, this whole thing, have a lot of us questioning his skill set. I don't know why. I'm reading comments all over the place, and even some of the people that really like Shedeur and believed in his talent are questioning whether, you know what I'm saying, he's one of the elite quarterbacks or whether he should have been first round. And I'm like, wow, what a difference an opinion makes. What a difference other people's opinion makes. So I guess that's why I come on here and I try to give some type of perspective so that people can understand. It wasn't too long ago that we were all talking about how good Shedeur Sanders is as a quarterback. So what now? Some people are protesting. So let's talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because the fans can pretty much do and support the way that they want to do. They want to support and they can do whatever they want to do. So I got no dig in that game. Now, I do remember because I was in the midst and I was I thrust myself in the Colin Kaepernick protest when he was kneeling and trying to talk about police brutality and everything. And he lost his NFL dream and everything that he fought hard for to be an NFL player. He lost all of that. So I know exactly what that's all about. Now, I actually inserted myself. I made a t-shirt that I was giving out for free. Those t-shirts went viral. I mailed those t-shirts all over the country. I was even at the NFL headquarters in Manhattan. I was pretty much in the midst of all of that. I followed it all the way to the end. And I do understand exactly what comes out of this. Y'all want to protest the jersey, only buy it on his site and all of that. That's all good. Here's where I stand with all of that. I'm ready for Shedeur to show and prove what he's all about. I know his talent. I'm not one of those people that is questioning in my mind whether Shedeur is good or not, or I've forgotten all of a sudden that he lit it up in Jackson, Mississippi, that he lit it up in Boulder, Colorado. I didn't forget none of that, even though some people have forgotten. I don't know why, because now you're hearing about NFL GMs talking about, oh, we only thought that he was a backup quarterback. So now all of a sudden some people are forgetting the skill that Shedeur possesses. Okay? Whether he had to compete for it or not, it doesn't matter. We know what he did in college. We know the numbers that he put up. And we know the offensive lines that were trying to protect him. So however you think about it, that's on you. But I know who Shedeur is, and I know what he is capable of. This is where we are. Whether you're going to protest or you're just going to support the Browns. At the end of the day, if you look at what happened to Colin Kaepernick, what was he asking for? What was he fighting for? What he was fighting for was a bigger picture. He had already played in the NFL, and he decided, I'm going to take a stance and fight for something bigger than myself. We honor that. Now, when it comes to this whole draft situation, those who are protesting, you got the right to do whatever you want to do as a fan. That's your money. You can go purchase whatever jersey you want to purchase, whether it's from the NFL website or it's from Shedeur's website and it's not an NFL branded jersey. You do whatever you want to do with your money. You have the right to do that. But here's the thing that I think about. Shedeur was drafted, even though they put us through a whole lot of stress, right, as fans. We knew that our guy was supposed to be going number one. That's how everybody projected it. So we had to endure all of that stress to get him at the 5th round, 144. But it's all said and done now. At this moment in time, Shedeur now has to go out there and play. We need to allow him. If you want Shedeur to be successful, and if you like Shedeur, if you like for his career, his NFL career to continue, this is the moment where we got to support him on the Browns. Because the thing about it is, these people are probably just as petty as we are, or even more petty. You can see that what happened, right? We do not want Shedeur to get caught up in some type of crazy scandal, or you're protesting against the organization, so they're going to punish him. Keep in mind that he's drafted at the 5th round, 144. If you're the 4th string quarterback, they pretty much owe you nothing. They're just giving you an opportunity, and they're going to put you out there, and they're going to give you one shot. You got one shot. Because you're not the 2nd quarterback. You don't get that many reps. You're not the 3rd quarterback. You're not going to get that many reps. So if they put you out there on at number 4, they're going to be like, all right, we already know that you were supposed to be a backup quarterback anyway, so do whatever you got to do. Couple that with being at odds with the team or the organization. You see what I'm saying? Like Shedeur goes in there and the organization knows that he doesn't really want to be there. He's selling jerseys on his own site and stuff like that, and he's not really cooperating with the organization. How's that going to look? If they're already not going to give him an opportunity, the owner, all he's going to do is say, you know what? Don't play him. And that's it. What I would hate to happen to Shedeur is that somebody pick him up, just like they used to do in the music industry, where the competition will get the artist and they'll just put them on the shelf. They would never release a record or even an album. I would hate for that to happen to Shedeur, where Cleveland is just going to mess with his career, make him feel like he's a third wheel, that he doesn't belong in this industry, he does not belong in the NFL. They're going to throw him out there, don't give him any support. And we already know what it looks like without support. And now you're going to be dealing with grown men. It's not going to be a good look for Shedeur. I'm at the point now where I stand at, I'm over it. All right. You made your point. You chose him at number 5, 144th, 5th round, 144th. All right, fine. If you do not, as an organization, the Cleveland Browns, have any type of ulterior motives, you're not going to bring him in, just throw him to the wolves and not support him and let him fail. But you are actually going to support him, and you're going to give him whatever type of support that he needs to succeed. If that is your intention, I'm ready to cheer for Shedeur as a Cleveland Brown. And whatever jerseys or whatever merchandise I can afford, I am here to support Shedeur Sanders with the Cleveland Browns as long as he's with them. That's where I stand at. That's what I'm willing to do. That has nothing to do with whoever decides to buy a jersey off of his website. That's what you're deciding to do. If they're saying that Dylan Gabriel was the guy that they wanted, and they're not really going to support Shedeur, a couple of things are going to happen. One, they're going to put Shedeur out there in the preseason, give him some reps. Shedeur's going to do enough, show enough to another team that wants him. Somebody is going to call and want him to be a second on their team. There are still NFL teams out there that need a second quarterback. Even though they didn't draft him, that possibility is still out there. That's the scenario that I'm thinking is going to happen anyway. That's if they don't invest in him. If they give him the same, if they not the same, they're not going to give him the same amount of reps as the guys that was drafted ahead of him. But if they give him enough reps and they plan on supporting him with those reps, I'm under the belief that Shedeur is going to win the number one job. But if he wins the number one job and he also and they play some tricks, or they don't want to give him the job and they're doing some weird stuff, there's still the opportunity for Shedeur to get picked up by another team. All right, that's how it just works in the NFL. I'm hopeful for that. So now I'm ready to cheer for Shedeur with the NFL. Let bygones be bygones. I'm not holding no kind of grudges. I want to let it go. I'm here to say I'm ready to let it go. Cheer for whatever he wants to do. What I don't want to happen is for him to feel some kind of way. That message gets out there and other teams just don't want anything to do with him, and his career dies on the bench in Cleveland. Coach Prime is way too smart for that, to allow that to happen to his son. And I know Shedeur is way too humble and way too smart for that, to allow that to happen to him. So I think Shedeur is going to go out and he's going to ball out. He's happy to be there. And he knows that this is his opportunity. Whatever has happened, has happened. We got to put that behind us now. And we got to start cheering for Shedeur. So I'm a bandwagon Browns. That's what it is right now. Because I'm going to support any of Coach Prime's people, any of Colorado people that go anywhere. I'm going to be a bandwagon person for that team. I'm going to watch and I'm going to support them. I want them to win. The more they win and they become alliances, this is the funnel to Colorado recruiting. That's how this thing works. So we all got to be able to support that. I'm willing to do that, to start supporting in that way. These guys that are signing deals, these guys that are going to mini camps, if all of the, I would say their success is going to be the success of Colorado. And then eventually that success is going to turn into positive return for the recruiting department. If Colorado wants to start winning in the Big 12 and start being a leader in the Big 12, we need some big names to come to Colorado. And right now, I feel like the NFL sent a message and they tried to mess that up. But after that whole thing was done, you got some signees. You got some mini camp invites, just like I predicted that was going to happen. So now it's time for all of them to get to work and make their respective teams so that the recruiting things can start happening. Because now we have people in those organizations, players that just came from Colorado, and they can start making phone calls. They can start being the liaisons for the program. That's how we want this to turn out. It can get real ugly. We're done with this. Shedeur is one person. The NFL, as you've seen what happened with Colin Kaepernick, we moved on and we're still supporting the NFL. Here we are. A lot of us, we're still watching NFL games. A lot of y'all that was disgruntled. I know some of y'all will never watch the NFL again, and I get that. But it's not enough to have crippled them. It was not enough to stop them from moving forward. And Shedeur, I don't want Shedeur to just be another casualty in that. Because this kid dreamed to be a football player. He has money. This is not about money. That boy's been rich since he was born. So this is not about money. So his dream as being a football player, that is what we're fighting for now. Let him live his dream. Let him allow Shedeur to live out his dream. And the way that you allow him to live out his dream, let's not gaslight him. Let's not try to create any more scenarios to make him feel some kind of way. Let's just support him. Let's say, Shedeur, congratulations, you are with the Cleveland Browns. Let's become Brown fans. All right, you have your home team already, but support him with the Browns also. All right, it's free to do that. All right? Watch the games. Comment, you know what I'm saying, on social media. Let's not be the angry fans that's going to cause the organization to turn on Shedeur and retaliate against him. Because that's what they're going to do. If you think you're petty, they're more petty than you. They're pettier than you. I promise you. They will retaliate and they will take it against him. He could not be involved. But if he's selling jerseys and doing stuff like that on his website, if they get the sense that he's doing stuff outside of the organization, he's not really supporting the organization for merch sales and everything else, if they get that sense, they are going to retaliate against him, and I don't want that to happen. I want Shedeur to be successful in the NFL. The talent that you know that he has, and you know that he can be successful and he will be successful, that is how I feel also. I know he will be and can be successful. But it's up to us now to support him in that work. So my message to Shedeur, go beast out. We're ready to support you. We're moving on. We're moving forward. We're going to move on. All right. So finally, guys, if we're going to move on and just support Shedeur with the Browns, here are the numbers according to all those bettors out there. If you are a bettor, I am not promoting no betting. I'm a Christian man. I don't deal with that betting stuff. But here are the numbers as to how it's going to play out, how people are thinking this is going to all play out for the quarterbacks. Let's look at the numbers. All right, so right there on your screen, QB to take first snap for Browns in regular season week number 1. You got Kenny Pickett plus 120. I'm not saying you should bet, but this is what it's going to look like. Shedeur Sanders is at a plus 225, and we got Joe Flacco at a plus 300. We got Dylan Gabriel at a plus 650. And then we got Deshaun Watson at plus 1800. As of April 29th, 2025, Joe Flacco is the favorite to start at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in week number 1 with odds of plus 125. That's a 44.5% chance of him being the first QB. Shedeur is the second most likely starter with odds of 275. That's a 26.7% chance. Dylan Gabriel follows up with odds of plus 350 at a 22.2% chance of being QB number 3. So Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson have the longer odds at 650, 13.3%, and plus 910% respectively. Those odds are based on betting markets. The actual starting quarterback for week 1 could vary depending on various factors, including performance in training camp and team decisions. Now, I don't know if you watched First Take and you saw the argument that Stephen A. Smith was making. Stephen A. Smith was basically saying that he thinks that the team is actually going to, they're not going to forget and they're not going to forgive and forget. They're actually going to give him few reps, but they're not going to start him even if he wins the job. Now, the panel had different ideas. I don't know exactly what they're trying to do. My hope is that they let this kid play. If he wins the job, give him the job. Don't do this thing where you're going to be disgruntled and you're going to take out whatever is going on with the fans on social media. Leave that stuff out of there. Don't associate that stuff with him. The fans are the fans, and Shedeur and his family are Shedeur and his family. Whatever you think you know about him, the reason why you kept him at 144th and 5th round, all of that stuff, you're going to realize that maybe we kind of jumped the gun, because this kid actually has the skill and he has the dedication, and he has the discipline, and he's a really nice young man. And we probably did him wrong by letting him stay that long. You're going to realize that real fast, real soon. All right. I'm talking about the Cleveland organization now. You're going to realize that, yeah, you probably did him wrong, because you're getting a really good young man that was raised well. All right. I know your emotions got caught up in everything that you've heard. You took the social media stuff. You took the answers he gave in interviews and stuff like that, and the personality that you see out there. And you thought that you actually knew him, but you don't really know the person until you spend some time with the person. Then you'll realize that, oh, shoot, we probably messed up. You're going to realize that, Cleveland. You're going to realize that you really messed with a really good person because of noise that you heard from the outside. Instead of giving this guy a chance to come in there so you can learn who he really is, you listen to the outside noise and you let that influence your decision. And I don't think that was fair. That was not fair at all, but it's okay now. We got to get beyond this. We got to put this behind us, and we got to start going forward. So if Shedeur does what you ask him to do, if he does everything that you ask him to do, let this young man live out his dream. Do not punish him any longer because of whatever insecurities you have, whatever ideas that you came in with and you heard while he was in college, whether you don't like the fact that he was being put above everybody else and all of that stuff. That just comes with it. When you see the whole world talking about him, just use that to your advantage and get over it. Use that to your advantage. Use that for marketing. Use his star power. He has a lot of people out here that's cheering for him. Start using that and start marketing your organization. And you got to get over it, Cleveland. But let this kid live out his dream. No, he doesn't need the money because he's already rich. But let him play football. That's what he dreamed about. And he worked really, really hard for it. So I hope that you will hear what I'm saying. And I hope that you will listen to us. There are some that are going to try to punish you for what you did to them. And they have the right to do that with their money. You can't tell somebody what to do with their money. They can do whatever they want to do. But just allow Shedeur to be who he is and allow him to play the game that he loves. All right, guys. So I'll leave it right there. I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace out.